We're almost a month into Regulation E, and I'm having a ton of fun. To me, the meta seems pretty diverse and not too centralized. But as I think more about what future series will be like, I've noticed that no one seems to be talking about the restricted format that will most likely come early next year. I want to make today's video about speculating on what the meta might look like once you're allowed a single restricted legendary on your team. We're going to talk about why I think we're only going to see a handful of legendaries being picked and the impact on the meta. Especially how I think the specific few legends that will get picked will centralize the meta to an insane degree. Before we get into that though, please give this video a like and subscribe if you guys like this sort of content, as I'm going to be pumping out a ton of content in the coming months. Also, most importantly, please comment down below your thoughts on my opinions and what your thoughts on this topic are. And with that being said, let's begin with the first Pokemon on this list. Number 1, Miraidon. Miraidon will more than likely be the most prevalent restricted legendary in Gen 9, as it has so much going for it, and it synergizes incredibly well with a good selection of strong Pokemon. To start, Miraidon has an incredible stat distribution. It's as fast as most of the fastest Pokemon in the tier, and it has a base 135 special attack. Its ability allows it to set terrain, and it gets boost to its special attack by 1.3. Its signature move hits hard and also boosts damage if it hits super effectively. So in all, with its ability boosting a stab move twice, and if it were to Terra into electric, and its signature move hitting super effectively, this Pokemon could dish massive damage, especially with choice specs. It also synergizes well with the future Paradox Pokemon with their Quirk Tribe ability. Think Pokemon like Iron Hands and Iron Bundle. I also believe that one of the most common cores for a team will be Miraidon and Regieleki. Regieleki also benefits from its own ability. It has Electric Stab, gets boosted from electric terrain, and has moves that get boosted from it. Give it specs, and the fastest Pokemon in the game will become insanely powerful with Miraidon on the field. Whole teams can be built and synergized from Miraidon, on top of it being top tier alone. This is why I believe Miraidon will be the most used restricted legendary. Number 2, Zacian. Not much needs to be said about Zacian, as I'm sure we're all familiar with why Zacian is so good and will be on many teams. But just to recap, it has incredible stats, especially physical attack and its speed. Its ability boosts its attack by 1.5, and even though these things will be nerfed in Gen 9, it remains a great Pokemon. It has a solid defensive typing, and with Terastallization, it can utilize many other movesets and strategies. It's so good because it's so good on its own, not needing the support of other Pokemon, though it will most certainly receive the support. This thing will be all over the Regulation G meta, and it's too bad my boy Zamazenta won't be seen as much. Number 3, Koraidon. While I do know you'll see Koraidon a whole lot during this meta, I don't see it being as prevalent as Miraidon or Zacian. It has most of the perks Miraidon gets, as it basically mirrors it with stats and its moves, but one thing it lacks is a stab boost to its moves during Sun, as Sun doesn't boost its fighting or dragon moves. It also has a 4x weakness to Fairy, a common type. It will pair well with the past Paradox Pokemon such as Fluttermane and Roaring Moon, but I can definitely see this role being divided between Koraidon and Groudon, as Koraidon is threatened and countered by both Miraidon and Zacian, both Pokemon that Groudon checks well. So while I think Koraidon is an amazing Pokemon that we'll see a ton of, I do think we won't see it as much as the other two previously mentioned on this list, and I think many will trade it for Groudon, though who can really say. Number 4, Calyrex Shadow Rider. Another Pokemon that needs little introduction, Calyrex holds up well even in this generation, due to having insane stats, an incredible signature move, and a crazy ability, or should I say abilities. Though it does have two 4x weaknesses to both Ghost and Dark, it can easily Terastallize into Dark to mitigate this weakness. It gets Nasty Plot as well to boost its already gargantuan special attack. This Pokemon is so good mainly because it can dominate a team all on its own, though it will still get support from its team. Not much is needed to tell you why this Pokemon will be seen so much in this generation's restricted meta. Number 5, Groudon. As an already great Pokemon that benefits its team by setting the sun, Groudon will also be seen quite a bit, in my opinion, due to two things mainly. It benefits the past Paradox Pokemon, and it checks Miraidon and Zacian well, as previously mentioned. Though I'm sure we'll see the other Pokemon more often, I think Groudon will make regular appearances to many teams. And finally, we have number 6, Kyogre. Though I don't see this Pokemon getting used nearly as much as the aforementioned.